Hi. In this segment, we're going to talk about the fourth step in the 5 steps of creating a clear logical argument, and that's linking premises. You can see we've covered 1, 2, the 3 steps. Right now, we're on the 4th step. And we'll begin to explain that by discussing a simple argument. And we'll say that the main conclusion is the president was born in Hawaii. So that's the conclusion of the claim that we're trying to support with the line of reasoning. And the line of reasoning is made up of 2 premises. The first one is the president has a Hawaiian birth certificate. And the second premise is one who has a Hawaiian birth certificate was born in Hawaii. And that leads to our conclusion, therefore, the president was born in Hawaii. So you can see, if you're looking at the side view of the logic bridge metaphor, you have your start of the line of reasoning, and you have the finish that we've discussed. And this represents the first premise. And here we have the president, and here we has a Hawaiian birth certificate. And the second premise right here is one who has a Hawaiian birth certificate was born in Hawaii. So let's see how that works in the template, the logic bridge template. The key in the linkage is that the predicate phrase of one premise matches the subject phrase of the next premise in the line of reasoning. I'll get to the universal part in a second. So you can see here in the logic bridge template, here we have the subject column and the predicate column, where we've regimented each of the premises into their subject phrase and their predicate phrase. So here you have the first premise, and we have the president has a valid Hawaiian birth certificate. Now, to create the linkage, this predicate phrase of this premise, number 1, must be the subject phrase of the next premise in the line. And here you see it right here. Has a Hawaiian birth certificate. So this is the linkage right here between the end of one premise and the beginning of the next. You can also see it here in the side view of the logic bridge, where you have the ending of one premise matching or linking right here with the beginning of the number 2 premise. Now, the universal. You can see right here that the start of the next premise, in this instance, begins with one who. And that's the added universal that's always added at the front of every following premise. And it can be any, all, or one. Such is kind of implied, who or that. So I can say one who, and then I match the previous predicate phrase. One who has a Hawaiian birth certificate, or all who, or any who that has a Hawaiian birth certificate. Now, to save space in the development of your templates, there's really no reason to repeat the end of one predicate with all the words at the subject of the next premise. So you'll always see in the subsequent templates that we put the universal here, and then we just make a note, previous predicate. So you know, when you're reading it, it would be the president has a valid Hawaiian birth certificate. Premise 2, you would read any who, and then this indicates look to the previous predicate, has a Hawaiian birth certificate, was born in Hawaii. And that leads you to the conclusion the president was born in Hawaii. So this component of the structure of the logic bridge is the linkage that must occur between each of the premises. And here you can see it here. You have the 5 steps. We've talked about the categorical form, the start, the finish. Now we're on to number 4, which is the linkage. It basically says that the remaining predicate phrases of each inferential premise must be the subject phrase of the following premise, prefaced by a universal quantifier, creating a transitively linked chain of premises in this distinct order. And we'll talk about the nature of that transitivity linked aspect, but it's not really necessary to understand that. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. And of course, the universal qualifier, as you can see here, is that one such, which means like the first subject, who or that, or any such, implying like the first subject, who or that, or all such, like the first subject, or who or that. Thank you.